Hey everybody, and welcome to the first installment of Kickstarter games. I haven't really come up with a good name for the series yet, but since this Kickstarter only has a few days, hours left, I don't know exactly what it'll be when I finally release this video, hopefully sooner than later. Trying to post-process stuff takes time, but this is an alpha that is freely available on their Kickstarter page, which I will have linked in the description as the first thing. And it is a pretty darn beautiful game. It's already trying to explain how you play it, and I will do a little bit as well. So we're going to listen to it and drag to connect between two nodes, and we will do it again. Now this is the source node. This is the node that will generate our pattern. The goal of this game, as it is a puzzle music game, is to generate a tone that infinitely loops around the connections. So as you can see, we click on the source node and it starts bouncing. And once it realizes that we have an infinite loop, it gives us the ability to move on. So now, each node, as we've kind of seen, is a little bit quirky. Now, the entire point of this level is to show you that there are not just 2 dimensions to this puzzle game. There are 3, and you can click and drag to move things. So this is going to generate a tone in that direction. As you can see, it's pointing straight at this one. And that one will generate to this. We can click on these to make them generate a ping, but only clicking the source node kicks it off. And we can even rotate in real time as it's playing. And we have hit an infinite loop, so it says, okay, next level. So now you can see we have a new type of node. Just a circle. So you'll notice when we click on this one, it's generating a single pulse, which is traveling up this connection to this node. But this node, we've already figured out, only pulses in one direction. So when it gets a pulse to the direction that it's going to try and fire a pulse, it does nothing. So we're going to have to do some creative connections here. So if we do this, and then connect these to here, we'll notice that when a circle has a pulse generated to it, when it receives a pulse, it generates one on every connection that it didn't receive a pulse on, and thus we have an infinite loop. Now, I've already played through these levels because I wanted to see if I liked the game, which, as it is on this series, you can safely assume that I do. I've already gotten a little bit of familiarity with the game, so I already kind of know what's going on. This is just sort of a quick thing for you guys to see what it's all about. So we know that when this generates, it's going to generate in all 3 directions. This one's going to do nothing because it hits this point, and these are going to go to here. But we can take this and feed it here. You can kind of see the logic on this, right? And bam, we have an infinite loop, and it is great. So we'll keep on going. Another seemingly simple, but oh no. If these 2 pulses collide, they short circuit. So we go to erase that connection, and we basically do it as it's so kindly telling us by redrawing the connection. So bam, it's gone. So now even though those 2 originally collided at this node, that one fizzled as that one generated a new one. They didn't actually collide. So as I said, there's some nuance and subtlety, and I can go ahead and probably relatively quickly recreate this. This was basically the exact same level as the previous one, just with another node. So they're taking this time, and this is probably the last thing I'll show you. Well, maybe not the last thing I show you, but they've given us access to this, which normally you will always have access to, but for simplicity's sake, they didn't give it to us right away. Each tool will change the sound in real time. They're not joking. I can use this. I apologize if that's a little loud, but you can use it to change volume. I'm not quite... that's kind of like the wetness of the sound. It's kind of hard to hear on this end. But there's also this wonderful giant list of presets. There's the default. As you can see, we can go through... Oh my. That was quite an interesting sound to open up with. But yes, we can switch from one to the other, which gives you a whole bunch of fun stuff. And this is presets, so I'm wondering what level of customization they will eventually be able to give us. I'm waiting for the one last interesting thing. So I'm gonna have to try and figure this one out. I'm pretty sure this is the answer. Pretty sure. I don't remember. But I look at this and I say, okay, that one will fizzle there when I generate, but this one will go, and it'll keep going. Oh, this is the source. My apologies. Bam. So this isn't nearly as hard, but now we have another type, and this is a reflector. And it's just going to keep going back and forth. Whenever a pulse hits one of these, it will be reflected back along the connection that it originally traveled in on. So what does that mean? That means I'm going to get really bad all of a sudden at this game. Now, the thing to remember here is that you have to connect everything. Everything has to be connected. I think I did it. I did it on my first try. That was kind of lucky. I wasn't entirely sure that was going to happen. But the interesting thing about this level, and I will go ahead and say what they constantly say on their page, which is true, is there are ways to solve this puzzle that you might not originally see. I don't know if this will work. This will work too. Now granted, this is a very similar pattern, but there are other ways to solve it that maybe don't even have to do with that. I don't actually know, I'll be honest. See, there you go. Something completely different. And it sounds different too. There's a whole bunch of different possibilities here. And of course, with the changing of stuff, it's even more interesting. And we're gonna get a whole bunch of different stuff. We've got this wonderful little gray thing there. It's hard to describe. It's a gray circle. It's kind of semi-transparent, sort of. It's kind of hard to say transparent because there's not really a source of color or light. But I'm just randomly connecting right now because I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen. But what this does is it absorbs a pulse. It absorbs a pulse, and every 2 pulses, it actually will spit something out, just like a normal spherical hub would. Once again, I'm sure there are a whole bunch of other solutions for this puzzle as well, and with only 4 nodes. And there's a whole bunch of levels in this alpha. We can go all the way to the end here. Show you the last one. We've got a whole bunch of different nodes that you haven't seen yet. This one, this one. Not only that, there's also different portions of the puzzle. So there is a lot of depth in this game. There's a lot of potential, and there's a lot of variability. Being able to change the sounds that it's creating, to be able to probably customize the synth even, constructing your own puzzles, even just coming up with new solutions. The possibilities here are very, very large. And I like that from the standpoint of a puzzle game that actually has replayability. I can see sending puzzles at people, and I can see just taking this and having some fun in a sandbox mode where you make your own music in a giant web of these things. And that's probably what I want to get my hands on personally. But I enjoy a good puzzle game that makes you think. Understanding a puzzle game and its mechanics is very similar to understanding a roguelike and its mechanics. You have to sort of work things out and then bend them to your advantage. That's the point of a puzzle game. I'm pretty sure this one actually runs all on its own. Yeah, I think it does too. A whole bunch of stuff here you're not actually going to know exactly what it's doing, but definitely a lot of really fun stuff going on here. This is a little bit more of a music generation one. Either way, this is where I'm going to end the video. Once again, the link to the Kickstarter is in the description below. It's going to try and teach me how to play the game, even as I've already shown you guys. I see a lot of potential in this game. It's, as I said, it's probably hours from being done with its campaign, and unless something crazy happened in the last few hours that that I looked at it, it might not make it. That said, they have told me, and I don't remember if it's on the Kickstarter page, they have told me personally that, because they're very nice when I contacted them. They have told me that there is a plan B if it does not get funded on Kickstarter. So, in my opinion, even if it doesn't fund, just funding it and getting on their list, so that they can email you when they have updates, or however they're going to manage it, they'll probably put out an update. I think it'll be worth it, and that's definitely what what I've already done, is jumped on the funding bandwagon. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoy the concept of this game. I know it's a little bit far off from what I normally am showing on my channel, but I think that you'll enjoy this game if you enjoy puzzle games at all. Once again, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something new about this game and are interested in funding it. I will work out a better outro to my Kickstarter videos, but please go ahead and check this out, and hopefully I'll give you something to fund next time. See you guys later.